Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad to have you as always on another preparedness, tactical, gear review-ish video. Okay, so like last time, we talked about kind of the mindset if you are a guy or gal that EDC carries, say for instance, you know, your trusty pistol, your sidearm, your carry gun, something you should have on you all the time. So if you go from something like that, but yet you have all these magazines for ARs, say you have, you know, several of these, like you should, you know, and you want to have a way to maybe prep and carry an AR or some type of a, you know, whatever they call it, personal defense rifle, carbine, 9mm, 5.56, 308, you know, whatever you guys want to have in your truck, on your person, in your house, whatever the scenario is. Say you have all these mags and you have other gear. What are you going to do? You're going to have a hoodie like me and stick them in your hoodie. You're going to run around, you know, in an emergency situation with all these magazines, pulling them out. Oh, God. Then what? Then what? So that was my question. People are going out and buying all this ammo. 5.56 is over 75 cents a round now as of this video. So this stuff is expensive. Magazines are going to get that way too. Still, a PMag historically right now is about 11 to 13 bucks. This is a 30 round. If you go with a 40 round, you're looking at about 20 bucks. This is a 40 round PMag. So if you have all this stuff, what's a way you can package it all together, have it on your person, covertly, or throw a jacket over it. I can have it in the back seat of my truck. I can have one in my wife's car. I can have one stashed wherever, and there's ways to do it and ways to go about it more than a concealed carry pistol. So, welcome back to the channel. Let's get back into it. All right, guys. So, as I was saying, if you guys are like me and have a, you know, quote, truck gun, you know, whatever you want to call it, this is my go-to right now. I've built several for people, ARs. This one in particular was my grandfather's, so that's kind of special to me. He's passed on now. And the stuff that he did to it, I left it alone. I did add an optic. I took off the carry handle. This was a extended handle that he added, actually. He was partial to the ergo grip, so I left that. He's even got my grandmother's fingernail polish that he did the fire controls with. Pretty cool. Painted them red. He also painted the front sight. So just stuff like that he kept on. I did add the different style handguard. So we'll make sure this is focused here. He did add on the handguard. I added on my light. Every rifle should have a light. I did the front grip just because I do like having that to rest on stuff. So the philosophy behind this, do you need an AR? Do you need any kind of rifle at the ready? I would say in today's America, it's not a bad idea. I think every able-bodied male in America needs to know how to use this, needs to know how to take it down, needs to know how to clean it, needs to know how to sight it in, needs to know how to load magazines, change parts out. That stuff's important. And this is, you know, people call it a lot of things. You know, the AR's got, you know, somewhat of a bad rep, I would say. The AR is your modern-day musket. This is what's going to help keep evil from knocking at your door. It's going to help keep tyranny away from America. 30 rounds is good, but 40's better. So take that. Getting down to how you're going to carry this, how I carry it, how I like to train with it, go shoot steel, run drills myself, like you guys do. Like we mentioned earlier in the videos, I'm just a citizen just like you guys are. I have the same rights you do. I like to hunt and fish. Have zero training, zero tactical background other than YouTube and shooting trash out of a garbage pit like you guys do. Shooting steel target, shooting paper. But every rifle should have an optic, LPVO, scope, red dot. I like a little bit of a magnified red dot. I think it's a do-all, very redundant piece of equipment. I like a flashlight. I like a basic muzzle device. I don't have a can yet. I would like one in the future. Basic adjustable stock, so my wife or a kid or my dad or elderly can shoot this. You're going to be just fine. A sling, a way to stow that sling with another tactical rubber band, great idea. But say you have this, say you have plenty of these, black rectangles that go inside of them. What now? How do I carry that in a truck? What's my answer to if I had to react and I had to put this thing into action? Now what? So my answer is get yourself a chest rig. If you're going to kit up and you're going to go invest in any kind of gear, something that you and me as civilians can actually acquire and use and get benefit from, a chest rig is where I would start. This particular model, and guys, don't take this, there is 100 million people that make chest rigs all over Instagram, all over YouTube, Amazon, Etsy, Temu, whatever the hell. Just get you one. This one in particular I do recommend because I'm a T3 fanboy. I love T3 gear. This is the new and improved T3 gear chest rig. I'm very, very partial to it. And let's go over the features right now. All right, guys, we're back. We've got the rig on, chest rigs, you know, the mindset. What do I need this for? How am I going to utilize it? How am I going to kit it out, train in it? There's a lot of questions. And for you guys that are to the point now where you want something maybe a little bit more than a battle belt, ready belt, gun belt, whatever you want to call it, if you want something a little bit more than that, a piece of gear that can sustain and help support your main gun, so say an AR, a 308, even one of those personal carbines, 9mm, a lot of guys are carrying those as truck guns now. So something like that, in that, you know, mentality, that mental capacity, mindset, chest rig. Okay, if I'm pulling this out of my Adidas little go bag and I'm using this more than, you know, if I'm stepping up to this past my everyday carry pistol, shit has gone horribly wrong. Okay, I'm either in line to pick a kid up at school, active shooter, some crazy news is happening at work, I've got to put this on to get home, I've got to go rescue a spouse, family member. I can, you know, if you're in a neighborhood, suburban community where you have, you know, somewhat of a militia, whatever, you may be carrying this around instead of a full-blown plate carrier. So I have a plate carrier, and we're going to go into that video later, but the mentality behind a plate carrier, I like it. I like having that protection, but us as citizens, civilians, it's not as applicable. It's cool to work out in. It's cool for pictures. It's heavy as shit. I'm not as mobile as I am with this. I can put a jacket over this. I can put this under this hoodie. I can put this over armor if I wanted to. A chest rig just has so much more going for it. I think in this kind of relationship, I'm just a guy that hunts, guys. I like to kill ducks and geese and deer. I like to be outdoors. I like to be with my family. I'm not an operator. I'm not a gun tuber. I'm just a guy that likes to be prepared. So if I have an AR style rifle, which everybody should, then this is a definite consideration for maybe your next gear purchase. All right, so going over what this is, what brand, how I have it set up, and why. So this is, I want to get you guys zoomed in down here. All right, so the brand of this chest rig is T3, made by T3 Gear. This is their all-new redesigned chest rig. They used to have a range day chest rig that was kind of similar. This one has more capability. I love their stuff. Their stuff is awesome, made right there in Coronado, California, right down the road from Bud's. Obviously, some of the best knowledge and passed down first-hand gear stuff you can get. So obviously, it's who I wanted to be around. I got Ranger Green because I'm not a big, you know, I mean, multicam's cool, but everybody thinks about multicam as being military, you know, special forces, you know, National Guard. Good and bad guys wear multicam. I thought this was more of a gray man, subdued, you know, matching our background here. I could throw a jacket on over this. No one's going to see it. Like I said, it's not blaring camouflage out there if I have to put this on and be out in the public. So the idea behind this, supporting gear for your main rifle. So with that being said, I've got 4 places for magazines here. I could add on more with this laser cut material on the side. I could add more right here on this laser cut material. I could add more to the front of this. So instead of being a single, they call this a shingle, instead of being a single shingle style chest rig, I could have double magazines. Hell, I could even have triple if I wanted to. I like it slimline There's not a whole lot poking out from here. You can see it curves to the body. So I don't know how good you can see that, but it curves to the body pretty good, like a moon shape. It's perfect for sitting in a vehicle. If you had to do anything like that, long durations of wearing this, it is super comfortable. It's got a super nice H harness in the back with more Velcro and identification. Like I said, I'm not in the military. I'm not trained, so I don't have a unit patch or a name patch or any patches. I just have the standard Blackbeard, you know, no quarter. It's just some kind of morality patch you find on the internet. I thought it was cool, slapped it on there. I've got an American flag patch in the back for ID, so hopefully if somebody saw the American flag, if I have to put this on, hopefully the American flag is still a good symbol, so I have that back there so nobody shoot me in the back. I've got a little pig sticker here in the front, super accessible. This is made by Shelby Knives. This thing is an absolute piece of freaking art. If this camera will focus, this thing is laser sharp. And again, guys, carrying a knife is not a must-have, but other than, you know, obviously cutting stuff, I could jam this in a doorway, open up a, you know, this is just a tool. It's a big, nice piece of steel. I could jam this in as a pry bar. There's all kind of stuff you can do with a knife other than cut stuff. So I like having that on me. I like having it center line here in a Kydex sheath that locks in place. I can grab this with either side, but specifically my strong side. So I've got this secured in here with some Velcro from Faro Concepts. I want to say it's called the wing thing or a knife thing or something. It's a piece of double-sided Velcro with Tigris that bolt through the sheath itself. Then I could slide it in between the back plate and the magazines of this chest rig. Okay, so moving around, obviously you saw that I have the capacity to have 4 AR style magazines. You can configure this to whatever with a different insert. I like having the bungee retention because if I fall down or have to go under a truck or climb up a mountain, these things are not going anywhere. And I've got 30 rounds apiece on tap with bungee retention. Another thing that I've recently got to use of is these side pockets are internal to this thing, so you can see the pockets go inside. I've got my bow thing in here. As you guys saw earlier in the Tactical Preparedness series, we've got the bow thing with the covert arms PTT guard. This thing comes in really handy here, so this thing covers up your push-to-talk. Unless you have a finger going in, you're going to be just fine. So you can throw this in the side pocket of the chest rig. It's not going to get bounced around. If I had a push-to-talk, this is where that would connect up to this this laser cut material. I can even thread this on up through here, and it would be more out of the way. The reason my radio is on my left side is because when I shoot, I'm right-handed, so my stock is going to go here. I didn't want anything to affect the cable management or antenna on this side. That sounds very tactical, but honestly, it's just common sense, stuff that has been passed down through people that have actually been in warfare and had stuff get tangled up. So learn from that. It's a simple trick. Keep stuff on your weak side. Obviously, you can shoot over here if you have to, but I'm going to use my dominant side and keep it clean. Same thing on this scenario. I like this side of my chest rig being very clean with nothing over here. The reason being is so I can draw my pistol. So if I had my battle belt, range belt, whatever, if I had my pistol on my dominant side on a drop rig where it'll clear, it would also clear my plate carrier. I can immediately grab that and get on this side without anything obstructing it. A lot of this stuff may be common sense to you guys, but to a lot of guys out there that are buying this stuff, it may not be, so that's why I'm going over it. Again, finishing up the chest rig, I like having this dangler down here. This is a great example of you don't have to buy a mainstream kit to have good stuff on your chest rig or your plate carriers. This is a great example of being budget-minded. When you're going out to buy this stuff, you don't have to go buy a $50 dangler pouch, nut sack, whatever you want to call it. This is just a pouch with Velcro that goes on the back side of your chest rig or plate carrier that has extra storage. That's literally all it is. So what I keep in mind, really anything that fits, but for right now, I've got another tourniquet. I've got a tourniquet in here, and I also have my IFAK that we went over in the previous video. So I keep that on me at all times, whether I'm wearing this or a battle belt, but these go hand in hand, and I need to buy more of these so they can stay in pairs. But it fits perfectly in this. This is a great size. You guys can see I have room for other material in here, cell phones, you know, whatever you want to do to put in this dangler, you can. Extra gloves. Speaking of gloves, I've got some medical gloves in here But also, I do like to keep some actual gloves on my weak side on an S-Beaner. You can use this S-Beaner for whatever you want to. I keep gloves on it. These are some cheap Harbor Freight Hardy brand gloves. Great for, you know, anything. If you're having to wrestle with brush out in the wilderness, barbed wire fences, chain link fences, anything in an urban environment, stuff where you want to protect your hands, which is pretty much at all times, get some gloves. They're always on the kit. I don't have to worry about where they're at if I grab this. And this whole package will fit snugly into my Adidas bag, which I'm going to show you now. Back in the shop to show you, put all this stuff together on just how easy it truly is to put this in a go bag or a get home bag, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm not adding, probably what you should be is at least a couple bottles of water, MREs, some more medical, some batteries, some more PPE, gloves, masks. We'll get into all that, but right now we're just focusing on sustaining weapon systems like your EDC and your rifle. So specifically towards the chest rig, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to pack this bag. So what I like to do is, you'll see here, this is our EDC. Switched out the light so it's more compatible with that holster. So TLR1 instead of a 7. Remember, this is our overt setup, not covert. So right into that level 3, easy peasy, going right into the Adidas bag. What I will do is I will unsnap this and kind of curl it inside of itself. Hope you guys can see this. With all the magazines, the firearm, the IFAK, all of that, I'm going to curl it up on the inside. I'm usually going to try to put that pistol at some point in the corner of the bag so I got a little bit more stability. So it's going to end up going in there kind of sort of like that. Kind of hard for you guys to see, but it's curled up inside of this bag. So it leaves me a nice cavity on the inside for the chest rig. And something that people don't know about the chest rigs is they are very, very concealable. So what's cool is if I take that radio out, I can fold this thing up in itself. That dump pouch fits inside. So you end up having a package. You end up having a package pretty much like this when it's all folded on top of itself. So I can then slide that right in the middle of this bag. So we now have a fully kitted out range belt, battle belt, duty belt, whatever you want to call it, in this, a fully kitted out to the gills chest rig. I can throw in my EDC holster, no problem. If I want to go covert, I can take this antenna off this radio. I can, well, actually, I don't even have to do that. I can slide this radio directly in there with the antenna. And check it out. That's exactly how I would tote this thing in my truck. Just like this. It's really not that heavy. Pretty easy to stow somewhere. And no one knows the difference. They think you're going to the gym or something, which you should be going to the gym anyway. It's funny to mention the why behind a chest rig because a lot of times during peacetime and, you know, not conflict, heading into an election year, you know, COVID, all that stuff's kind of playing a factor in people's minds now, prepping and being preppers and buying stuff now is kind of the wrong time to be buying it. But my dad was going through his AR and his setup and knowing what kind of mags he had and what he didn't have, that type of thing. And he was asking me, he's like, hey, you know, I'm buying all these magazines. You know, what do I do with them? You know, if I had to put them on my person or carry them somewhere. And you don't want to be the guy that has a duffel bag full of 20 loose AR mags. I mean, what are you going to do? Run around with an AR trying to get out of the situation or protect a family member, and you're going to also have a duffel bag full of magazines? It doesn't work out good, trust me. So he ended up investing in one of the cheaper Amazon versions of a chest rig, and once he got it all together, put it on, you know, you don't feel so dumb. I mean, that stuff, it's gear that makes sense. If you invest in it, say 10 years from now, and you don't want it, that stuff always has a resale value. Just like guns, Tactical kit, helmets, plates, magazines, they all have value. Maybe more value than we'll know if we ever get to that point. Now, God forbid we never have to use this stuff, but I'm telling you, if you ever get caught off guard, like the poor people of Israel, when the BLM riots came through people's neighborhoods, LA, big cities, metro complexes, even a small town America, guys, it can happen to you, and I hope it doesn't. But watch this video, learn from it, see my kit, what I do. I'm just an average dude just like you guys. Buy it, try it out, train in it. It's actually really fun, and you learn stuff along the way. So guys, stay tuned. Got more videos coming on tactical gear. Got some stuff on a gas mask coming up from the guys from Mira Safety. Some new stuff to the channel. As always, like, share, subscribe to the video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought, and we'll catch you on the next one, boys.